Today we are going to be checking out the Raceface SixC crankset. I'm going to start with a quick overview of the crank itself and then install it and give you some ride report after I've had some time on it. Alright, let's check them out. Whoa, look at those, eh? Beauties. So out of the box we have the spindle side and non-spindle side. I believe the non-spindle side is actually what you mount your chainring to. And then the side with the spindle attached to it, that will be mounted to your non-drive side. So that's kind of interesting. But we'll get these thrown on the bike and check them out. And then as well in the box, what else we got here? Cranks, we got booties, stickers, instructions, and your pedal inserts. I think we're good to go to check those out and get them mounted up. In addition to the crankset, I was lucky enough to get myself obviously a Raceface BB92 bottom bracket, as well as the Cinch chainring. And this particular one, they sent me a couple different ones, but this one's a 32, so that's what we're going to be going with because that's what I've been using for quite a while here, is that 32 tooth on a 1x11. So let's get these going. To start with, we are going to be taking off the old crankset, which is a Shimano XT. Nothing wrong with it, just wanted to stiffen it up a bit. And in order to stiffen it up a bit, we are going carbon. So let's get these off. And like magic, these pieces of shit are out. Sweet. To get out the old bottom bracket, we are using a Park Tools BBT 90.3 press fit bottom bracket bearing tool set. Should be good. New bottom bracket is in, ready for the cranks. Alright, so I've got the cranks on. I've got the 8mm tightened down. Now I'm just tightening up these preload adjusters on the back side, just so that the spacer doesn't have anywhere to move. Always remember to throw on the boot. Never a bad idea. This is going to save your ass on so many rocks. On a bike I rode a year ago, my Trance, I had Raceface Next cranks. And these little guys, these little boots, although they add a little bit of weight, but seriously, you're saving so much from putting them on in the first place. It's worth every frickin' gram. And there we go, all installed, ready for the trail. I'm gonna report back once we're out on her, checking it out. Alrighty guys, after some considerable amount of time riding these on everything from hike-a-bikes, cross-country rides, enduros, a little bit of downhill on them as well, I dig them. I think they're a wonderful crankset, super stiff, very light, and future-proof with that cinch system. I had to actually track down an old Shimano bottom bracket tool that I hadn't, I think I actually tossed, or I didn't know where it was. I had to track one down from Mountain Equipment Co-op in order to install the cinch chainring. But regardless, 20 bucks well spent. And it gives you that ability to run smaller than 28 tooth single rings if you want to go that route. Conversely, if you want to run double chainring or single chainring, both options are available to you. So that's one of the big things I see as the cinch system benefits. Otherwise, you just get a solid interface that doesn't require 4 pinch volts to constantly be tightening and making sure everything's good. The Raceface narrow wide chain rings worked completely as advertised. As you can see, I've actually removed the chain guide completely off the bike that I had been running, so that is gone. And in its place, I wanted to give a shot to these Raceface narrow wide chain rings. Not a single problem. I haven't dropped a chain at all, and it's just been completely flawless. So really surprised by it, to be honest. And without a chain guide, I feel a little bit naked. I wouldn't mind actually putting a little taco bash on the bottom, which I think I will do at some point here, just to give the chainring a little bit of protection while I'm out on the trail. One thing that I did notice that does pay dividends to have are these little rubber booties that are on the tip of the crankset. I have gone down the trail so many times and heard rocks nail the tips of these crank arms. Without these little booties, I don't know what kind of condition the end of the crank arm would be in, but I think if you're going to buy these cranks or any of the race face carbon crank sets, make sure you have these boots installed in order to protect your expensive carbon fiber parts. If I did have a complaint with them, I would say I'm not a big fan of having a 16 mil cap bolt for the crankset here. I didn't have a 16 mil Allen wrench. I don't know who does, or maybe I just need to get with the times and have one of these on hand. But I had to go buy a 16 mil cap. The standard 8 mil inside wasn't an issue. I've got tons of those kicking around, but having to source out a 16 mil on the trail could be an issue if you have any issues. So as I said, overall I'm a big fan of these. I've got a couple 100 kilometers on them now, all pedaling in various degrees, and 0 issues. Nothing's come loose, no wobbles, no play, just a super stiff, lightweight crank arm that can take a pounding. So I would highly recommend these guys, or at least check them out on raceface.com. Thanks for coming by and taking a look. Later, guys.